All right, we're good. All right. Good evening, everybody. January 22nd, 2026. It's just 6:02 p.m. So I'm going to start the meeting of the Town Deerfield Conservation Commission. This meeting will be held in a hybrid fashion with the opportunity for both in-person attendance and remote participation. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for an in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. The meeting will be held in person at the main meeting room of Deerfield Municipal Offices in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A. Anyone intended to record the meeting must identify themselves to the clerk and provide their name and address for the record. So I think we're good to go on the last balmy day before the Arctic freeze. Let's see. Meeting guidelines. Please speak one at a time. Follow the Deerfield Code of Conduct. Be respectful, considerate, courteous, concise, and non-repetitive. And for this meeting, two other conditions would apply. If you have any questions or want to talk to the commission, please address it to the chair and then get it to the proper commissioners. And secondly, unless presenting, please keep your comments to 2 or 3 minutes or less. So with that, I'm going to take a roll call of the members of the commission present.
Kate Devlin here.
Yeah.
John Libby here.
Okay, Pete Law here. I don't see Darren or Ben. I know Darren is not going to make it tonight. Don't see Ben on the screen. So we can go ahead and proceed as we do have a quorum of 3 of the 5 commissioners. First item of business on the agenda is the minutes from December 18th, 2025. Those are in your meeting packets. I've looked at them, reviewed them. Is everybody else? Any questions? Any updates that need to be made to those revisions? No, I hear nothing from the commissioners. So then I would take a motion to accept the minutes from December 18, 2025 as received.
Kate Devlin.
I move.
I'll
Oh,
make
go ahead.
to accept the minutes of December 18th, 2025 as written.
Sean Libby, second.
Table, do I have a second? I think I heard Sean, so we can go ahead, unless there's other discussion, take a quick roll call vote to accept the minutes as received. Kate Devlin,
Kate Devlin, aye.
Sean Libby,
Aye.
Pete Law, aye. So the minutes from December 18, 2025 are accepted as submitted. Thank you very much. The next item is the first one on the agenda is under new business, and it is a request for certificate of completion, RCOC, at 281 Greenfield Road. It goes back to NOI 142-0123. It's all the paperwork is in the packet here. 281 Greenfield Road, most of us is Magic Wings. So that is the request here in front of us to close that one out. The NOI, I believe, started in 1999. So we're a little behind the schedule there to close this one out, but that's okay. I did a site visit there on January 9th, along with Tim Coles, who's on the screen. Tim is our conservation agent. I should introduce Tim and Amy Hahn here, who's our does everything for us over here. So we did a site visit on the 9th. We looked at the area. We looked at back on the notes for the initial NOI. It was just standard DEP conditions. The Conservation Commission at that time did not put on any special conditions to this NOI. There was some back and forth with the engineer of a detention basin that they established on the south side of the property, and also the need to make sure shrubbery was in place, et cetera, to knock down any of the water that might come off during storm events from the parking lot. Tim and I reviewed the location. The detention pond area seems to be very viable. A lot of shrubbery, a lot of vegetation, also vegetation coming across the east side on Greenfield Road. A very healthy area there. So I believe following our visit, it met all the criteria that was specified in the initial NOI. There's a lot of material in your meeting packet. Maybe, I don't know, almost 100 pages of the whole packet that has all the stormwater calculations and so forth. That was done back in '99. So hopefully everybody take a look at that. Tonight we do have the current owner, and pardon me, I'm not good at names. George Miller, I'm sorry. Do you want to speak about this at all, George? If you do, you're going to have to come up to the mics because the audio down here is awful. So.
Need to say that thank you.
George, I'm sorry. You need to step up to the mic so that the people on Zoom can hear you. Thank you.
Thanks. Pete, thank you, and thanks to Tim as well for coming on out a couple of weeks
sorry
ago
for getting that
for the inspection. Sure, it's taken quite a while, I guess, for this thing to come to a resolution, but as is generally the case with sales and pending sales of businesses, these are the kinds of issues that tend to appear and need to be resolved. And certainly, my father, who built the facility, spent nearly 40 years in general contracting, so clearly he would know well enough to address and remedy any issues that may have come up back at that time. I know we operate in sort of a limited footprint as far as our acreage is concerned, but I know that one of the projects had to do with in effect, creation of a wetland area on the south end of our property, the area that abuts the Comcast property. So it's I should also point out that the sale of the business has recently gone through as of last week. So
congratulations.
well, thank you. So so it's good to have all the I's dotted and T's crossed as we're going forward and dealing with some post-closing issues such as this.
All right. Well, thank you, George, very much. And like I said, I was reading through all the documents and the responses back from their engineer at the time, which I think was Kohler and Colatino. They seem to address any concerns, and they address the detention area and the vegetation at the end. So any further discussion from the commissioners on this specific item?
No.
And this is a request for the certificate of compliance. I think I said completion, but compliance. Okay. Other than that, then I think we can go ahead with, I can go ahead and do a motion to recommend approval of the request for certificate of compliance for 281 Greenfield Road, South Deerfield.
John Libby, I can make a motion to approve the request for certificate of compliance for 281 Greenfield Road, formerly notice of intent number 142-0123.
Kate Devlin, I'll second that.
Great. Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Any further discussion from the commissioners? Nope. Seeing none, I'll take a quick roll call vote to accept the motion, which is to approve the RCOC. Kate Devlin,
Kate Devlin, aye.
Sean Libby,
Sean Libby, aye.
Pete Law, aye. So that motion passes 3-0, and it would be approval of the request. That's a Form 8A, I believe. So we'll fill out 8B and get it back to you, and that should cover it.
Yeah, so I believe you have it right there. If you and Kate can sign now, and I'm going to ask the Sean, if you can, I will leave it with Alex, if you can come in and sign at some point, so that we can get this to the DEP and get it back. Actually, I don't think, anyway, get it back to George so he can record it.
Right. Like I said earlier, Amy takes care of everything, so this is all good.
Thank you to the members of the commission, and thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, thank you, and good luck with it all.
Thank you.
All right, you take care now. All right. So the next item on the agenda this evening is stuff here. Is open the hearing for NOI for 113 North Main Street. Consider the notice of intent filed by the Frontier Regional School District for repaving the parking lot on property at 113 North Main Street, identified in the assessor's records as map 158, lots 17 and 18. The NOI is in the meeting package, and I do have full updated plans here if anybody wants to take a look at it, Kate. Otherwise, the hearing is open. I just want to note that this is DEP file number 142-0256. So that file number has been completed. Tim and Darren Damaris and I did a site visit on the 9th of this year of 2026 to review the site with representatives from BDG and from the school, from Bell. And so now we did that site visit, which was good, helpful. And do we have a bit of a presentation that you want to give to us, Carlos? That'd be great.
What was the DEP file number again?
142-0256.
Didn't want to guess.
So just to start, my name is Carlos Nieto. I'm a landscape architect with the Berkshire Design Group, and I've been working with the Frontier Regional School. Also, my partner, Chris Chamberlain, he's the civil engineer. I'm a landscape architect, and he's also present, but he's in the Zoom environment. So if you have any questions or if there's anything that comes up that I can't answer, he's there also to help. And I believe you met the engineer in charge of the project, Chris Baker, when you were out on the sidewalk. He did most of the work. Unfortunately, he had this. He had to he couldn't be here this week, and so that's why I'm right in front of you. In addition to that, I was also involved and worked with Chris during kind of the start of the project, and I've been overseeing it, so I'm very familiar with what was going on. So first of all, I just wanted to, because the plans don't have a lot of context. So I just wanted to point out, so the project, involves the repaving of the parking lots at Frontier Regional High School. There are two parking lots or two areas that how we've divided our plans. There's the north parking lot and the south parking lot. And the process that we are looking at for, it's going to be a mill and repave. So we are just not extending the parking lot or doing any additions to it or even changing grades. It's more about taking out the old asphalt that's there, leaving the base material that exists, and then repaving. And we are in that process because of the location of especially the southern parking lot. Go back to, we're in front of you because there is areas, resource areas, and buffer zones that are gonna be close to where the project's gonna be, especially on the south part. So we have, the project will be within the 100-foot buffer zone of the wetlands that are associated with Bloody Brook. And 200, we're going to be doing work within the 200-foot resource area of the riverfront area. And then also a lot of the area of the project on the south is within the bordering land subject to flooding, in particular with the new mapping that's come out. And so again, the description in total, there's about 3.5 or 3.6 acres of parking lot that we're going to be working on. The parking is in this repair. It hasn't been paved in a while. There was a lot of patching done, but it's, time to actually come in and actually repave and add new asphalt. The other part of the project is we're going to be reconfiguring the flow of the parking lot. And that's being done by changing some of the existing islands on the parking areas and also by changing this line striping. And the idea is to increase, there's need for more parking spaces. So we're going to try, the project is going to increase the number of parking spaces, but by just changing the configuration of the parking itself, not adding any more pavement, and also improving the flow for both safety and better flow of vehicular traffic within the parking area. Also, part of the project will include installing a new storm scepter or a stormwater treatment chamber. That's meant to treat and the stormwater from mostly from the south parking lot, and in particular for the area within the riverfront area. And we also are including on the project a new native planting area, and also as I'm going to talk in a moment, it's also part of the improvements within the riverfront area that we're including in the project. I wanted to just, again, go through the numbers. There's total riverfront area within the site is around approximately 83,000 square feet, 82,988, but about 83,000 square feet. Proposed alterations within, before I go to the riverfront, we're not proposing any alterations to wetlands. So there's going to be work within the 100-foot buffer, but there's not going to be alterations of wetlands. And now, on the riverfront resource, again, we have total about 83,000 square feet of riverfront area that's going to be within the work area. There's going to be proposed alterations within that riverfront area of about 33,283 square feet. Some of it is going to be in the inner between the 0 and the 100. Which is 7,329, and then in the outer between 100 and 200 feet, about around 26,000 square feet, give or take. And the reason for this is, as you saw on the sidewalk, is that basically the parking lot was built right next to the Bloody Brook, so we have to do the work. We can't avoid doing the work within the riverfront area. We are proposing also erosion control in the form of straw wattles and silt fence with straw bales. The straw wattles are going to be included at the edge of the work with the down gradient, and then the silt fence with straw bales is going to be added to that. So it's going to be double, we're going to call double erosion control in that area, in the areas closest to the bordering vegetated wetlands, to better protect those. The project will also, because it's more than an acre of disturbance, will also, the contractor will have to do a SWIP, NDP, DES permits, and so there's going to be definitely oversight of the site for erosion control. We are proposing.
Before I go, Carlos, on that erosion control on, let's see, it'd be the east side and just below your
on the east side,
cursor.
yeah.
Going down to the bottom, does that continue all the way through where it's not the hash mark area, but further down below it?
It's going down to.
Does it wrap around the end?
Yes.
Okay.
It goes all the way down here. The computer does not want to help here, but yes, it does keep continuing to the south.
And wrap
As it
back
kind
around.
of wraps around, and then it's going to be doubled up in the areas that are just next to the, but it does, because we're going to be doing that planting. So
Okay.
to the right of that planting, there's going to be straw wattle.
And there's a exit area there going on to Pleasant Street. Is this done when there's no traffic there, or how is the erosion control going to be
Well,
worked on
that's-
over that?
That part of the project does not drain towards, so this area from the right side of the existing island does drain towards the wetlands, and then this other area right here drains basically straight down. And the idea is that there's not going to be as much impact from here, but there will be erosion control at the edges where the pavement kind of ends, but the entrance itself, there's not necessarily erosion control there right at the end.
So you won't have a gate type of a system or anything?
We could add some wattle. Right now, we're not showing it.
Okay. Is that I forget the term, construction truck riprap?
There will be
Yeah, tracking pad.
where you're yes,
On both entries coming from, actually it'd be 3 entries, right, Bill? From North Main Street, 2 on North Main Street and then 1 on Pleasant Street.
on North Main Street and back.
Yeah.
What you're
Construction.
I don't think we're going to be including that, because we're not going to be we're going to be taking out the asphalt and leaving the base material there. So we're not going to be in bare
Right.
soil like
As you
it's going to
build
be
the asphalt, though,
compacted base.
it's pretty small material.
Mhm. Yeah, and
That we
if-
won't want to go out in the tires of the trucks and
if we need to, if the board requests it, we can. We generally wouldn't do it for just a repavement. Normally, it happens when we're doing larger movements of dirt.
sure, yeah, definitely. And it's kind of in the middle, but I was just wondering if you had it in the plans or not.
We
Maybe the
did not. We did
Commissioners
not.
can talk about that later.
Mhm.
I can't think of the right term.
Yeah, and
Trucks
you
and truck.
made me lose it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Being awake to work from
You know, it's
today.
an entry, maybe 10 yards in
Yeah.
wide of just riprap that you
Yeah.
Like kind of
Is what he was just saying.
track mat. Yeah.
track mat type of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just so you leave it down when it's all done, pick it up, take it away. Just to hold some of that stuff so it doesn't get spread around to North Main Street and Pleasant Street coming in and out.
And again, and yes, and we can discuss it. We did not include it now, and in general, it's because in a repaving process, we normally you don't see a track pad. But yeah, that's what it is. We
we
usually don't include a track pad when we're just doing repaving, because there's again everything's going to be pretty much contained, and we're not gonna have loose soil there. It's going to be the base material. And then the asphalt is going to be picked up and taken away. But again, if something that the board wants to see, we'll definitely be open to it.
Okay. Just a question we can talk about.
And So I was moving to, so we are proposing the project as a redevelopment project under 310.04. The reasons why we qualify is because it's a rehabilitation of a previously developed site with no net increase in impervious area. We provided the calculations of the impervious area. Actually, we're removing.
I think it came down about 700 square feet or something.
Yeah, exactly. We are, and within, then I'm gonna go through the criteria of why we're doing restoration as part of the project. And that is, and I want to go through kind of step by step on the 10.51.5, 58.5, because I don't want to miss anything here. The first in that qualifications for redevelopment with previously developed riverfront area, we can go either restoration or mitigation, and there are you go through from A to F or G, and that tells us what we are qualified for. Is it mitigation or is it going to be restoration? So the first question that comes up is that a minimum proposed work shall result in improvements over existing conditions of the capacity of the riverfront area to protect the interest identified in 13140. And the way that we're going to be, we're proposing to improve that area in three ways. The reduction in degraded area within the riverfront area, as discussed in F, and we'll get to F in a minute. By planting an entrance area garden with native species south of the southern lot that includes, and I'm gonna just move to the proposed so we can see what we're talking about is here on the south. I know what.
It's right on that lower part here. On the,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little circle.
You see it.
um,
I'm trying to get some,
Yeah.
what was not avoiding letting me kind of go into that area. So right there, there's already an existing grove of trees, and basically we're
Yeah.
expanding that area. And
just a quick question on that before we move on.
Yeah.
When we did a site visit afterwards, and I failed to mention it when we were out there, but that area is under standing water at times in the spring. And I don't know, Sean, if you looked at the plant listing for that specific area, but you probably need some plantings that enjoy a lot of wet roots to be sustainable in that area. And I didn't quite see what we're
Sweet
gonna put in
fern,
there.
red
fern
twig
probably.
dogwoods, bayberry, and viburnum, arrowwood viburnum. I mean, they all can.
Does that make sense, Sean, with the wet feet? Because they're going to be underwater for a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
All right,
all
good.
they're all good plants for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
We also selected those too because they're plants that are in riverfront areas, so they're riparian type of plantings. So that is the second part, and then the third part of how we are improving is by the stormwater management improvements by including this new storm scepter, which is going to be treating about 52,000 square feet of paved area that currently is not treated. And the unit has been designed to provide 82% TSS removal. And so that would be in, I believe, in this area, which is it's replacing basically an existing catch basin, the last catch basin and kind of the drainage system that keeps going to then eventually outfalls into Bloody Brook, the wetlands on Bloody Brook.
Yeah. So for the commissioners that weren't out there that day, you just saw where that catch basin is. So all the parking lot, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but all the parking lot goes into this one catch basin. Where they're going to put the separator in, and then there's I think it's a 24-inch pipe culvert going out to the Bloody Brook. So everything comes into that area from all the parking lot, goes through the separator out to Bloody Brook. And I have a couple of questions about that. The culvert, when we get to it, when I kind of examined it, it needs some help.
Okay.
But
So the B, which is I'm gonna go through all these. So stormwater management is provided according to standards established by the department. The stormwater standards do not apply to this project since the project does not include a new source discharge or a point discharge.
Yeah, and that's a good clerical thing, on your notice of intent.
Mhm.
Where it says under, C5, is any portion of the site subject to the Wetlands Restriction Order under the Wetlands Restriction Act? And you say, or I'm sorry, I'm number 6, is the project subject to provisions under the stormwater management standards? And the answer to that was no. Explain why the project is exempt. And there's only 3 items that you could choose from, which deal with single family homes or multiple residence homes. But within CMR, there's a process to provide the explanation. So that clerically should probably be a yes, with the explanation of why it doesn't fit, as it's a you're not moving. It's a single source, point source that you're not moving. It's a developed area, et cetera, et cetera. But just a minor thing that probably would need to be updated, but may not have to hold up any approval. But just noted that.
Yeah, and if I could jump in there, that's a known problem with the form. I've had conversations with Mark Stinson on this. He's actually had to have conversations with other chairs of other commissioners who have highlighted that the text in those exemption options don't really work. And his answer to them has simply been, but the stormwater standards just don't apply. And yes, the form doesn't give a checkbox for that. And I think DEP knows that, and they just have never fixed it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Chris. Because yeah, there's not a great options under there. They don't apply, but it does say that to provide explain why the project is exempt. It is explained a bit in the NOI, but not on the or in the
Narrative.
the outline of the NOI, the narrative, but not on the NOI itself.
Right.
It's just a minor point.
Could-
The commissioners know, but to make sure we have the form right. I just wanted to point it out.
Could I ask a question? This is Tim.
Yeah, Tim, go ahead.
Could one of you guys from Berkshire Design Group could you point me to where in 310 CMR 10 it says that the point source not changing means that the stormwater standards no longer apply? Because I have not been able to find that.
Chris, can you answer that?
Yeah. So my understanding has been that when that stormwater standards apply to new point source discharges, I think we discussed this with Mark. He agreed that, before we submitted anything, and he agreed that since we were not adding any water to this existing system, that we didn't need to address that question. I think I wondered the same thing as to exactly which text applies, and I'm not sure if he gave me a direct answer, but we had discussed it with him and then submitted that pretty black and white statement in the NOI and didn't get a comment back. Certainly something we can follow up on if that would
maybe
satisfy
just a
everyone.
because it might be in the stormwater management handbook.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at 310 CMR 10.056 L, and it is really specific. There's 4 things that it doesn't apply to, which is a single family house, a housing development, a multi-family housing development, and emergency repairs. And then on the form itself, it says it does apply to a portion of the site constitutes redevelopment, and proprietary BMPs, such as the Storm Scepter, are included in the stormwater management system. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that they apply. And I think you guys should just change that to yes. And you already have most of the stuff, here to do that very easily.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really simple change for you guys, but just to stick with 310 CMR10.
I mean, I guess that's fine. And this would clearly be 100% redevelopment because we're reducing impervious area. So all of those, most of the standards would be maximum extent practicable. And I think obviously there'd be no infiltration, our attenuation doesn't change, and we're improving water quality. I think certainly the maximum extent that we could, and actually hitting the 80% TSS. So yeah, I mean, clerically, if that makes it clearer for everybody, then I suppose we can go that route.
I think
Yeah,
Chris,
that
would
would be
good,
great.
and
Thank
maybe include, just your conversations with DEP, and that the
Yeah.
form is ambiguous to at
Yeah.
best, but, that would just check off the box.
Yeah.
Just we notice.
It-
Okay.
This has been a source of trouble for us sometimes because we will sometimes submit things with stormwater improvements that maybe don't 100% hit every stormwater standard, and Mark will sometimes come back and say, well, gee, if you got rid of all of your stormwater management, then this would comply because you wouldn't have any point sources, and that makes no sense at all. So we struggle with this question sometimes, but yeah, we can proceed that way.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it.
Great.
All right, Carlos. Sorry. You're on.
So we're going down to C now, which
Yeah.
is within 200 foot of riverfront area. Proposed work shall not be located closer to the river than existing conditions, or 100 feet, whichever is less, or not closer than existing conditions within 25 feet riverfront areas, except in accordance with 310 CMR 1058 5 F or G. The proposed work is not closer to the riverfront than existing conditions. That's our answer. The closest location of the graded surface is about 28 feet to the closest bank of the Bloody Brook. So we're not increasing or getting closer to the resource. D then talks about proposed work, including expansion of existing structure, shall be located outside of the riverfront area or towards the riverfront area boundary and away from the river, except in accordance with 310 CMR 10.58 5 F or G. Basically what we're saying here is that we cannot, the area of new paving within the riverfront is farther away from the bank than the area of the pavement that is being removed and naturalized, therefore shifting the overall paved area farther from the stream. So we're trying to, we did some removal of some of the pavement closest to the resource, but it is really not feasible to achieve the project goal by shifting any work project farther away from the stream, because basically that would, that's where the existing parking lot is. Which then gets us to E, the area of proposed work shall not exceed the amount of degraded area, provided that the proposed work may alter up to 10% if the degraded area is less than 10% of the riverfront area, except in accordance with 310 CMR F or G. And what our response is basically that proposed work includes the area of milled and resurfaced pavement, plus the pavement restoration area, but does not include the existing altered vegetated areas that will remain vegetated. This amount exceeds the existing degraded area by 508 square feet, and that is basically this island that is here, where there is existing altered, where there was turf, and now we're gonna pave that area. We're not eliminating the island, but we're reducing the size of it to facilitate circulation. But that means that because we've degraded 508 square feet, restoration is proposed, and we're gonna go to F for the restoration requirements. And then we go to, when an applicant proposes restoration on site of degraded riverfront area, alterations may be allowed, notwithstanding 310 CMR 1058 C, D, and E, at a ratio in a square feet of at least 1:1 of the restored area altered. Areas immediately along the river shall be selected for restoration. Alterations not conforming to the criteria shall begin at the riverfront area boundary restoration and shall include. So removal and the types of restoration that they provide is removal of all debris, but retaining any trees or other mature vegetation, grading to a topography which reduces runoff and increases infiltration, coverage by topsoil at the depth consistent with the natural conditions at the site, and seeding and planting with erosion control seed mixtures, followed by planting by herbaceous and woody species appropriately on the site. So the proposed work is going to be the 508 square feet are going to be less. So we're proposing more than the one-to-one restoration. So we've identified an area where we can remove pavement, which is closer to the resource, where we would be doing restoration by providing topsoil, seed mixture, restoration seed mixture, and a planting of a appropriate type of tree in that area. So that would be, and the ratio right now, it's, so there's 508 and we're providing about 700 square feet. So it is greater than one-to-one, so we meet the restoration requirement. And then on G, we're not, there are no new altered areas proposed, so therefore no mitigation is proposed. So we're not altering any new areas. So that's why we're not proposing any, no mitigation is proposed. That is all the riverfront area and redevelopment requirements that we were going through. The last part is that there is border land subject to flooding, or areas within the flood zone. When we submitted originally, we used the current firm maps, meaning the last firm maps that are current and legal. And there was a comment from DEP saying that we should be looking at the new, not firm maps, but the new flood maps that are not used right now as the legal basis, but that is a requirement of DEP. So we went and looked at those, and we did provide a response to the board, and also change the mapping, or put together some maps that show where that area would lie. But there's no difference in our response, meaning the project does not really do any additional grading. We're keeping the grades as they are for the parking lot. The majority of the work is just the repave, taking material out and basically repaving. So we are not really changing the grading. So we believe that we are exempt. We don't need to do any flood storage, compensatory flood storage for that. And I can go in, and so it's just plans that we included for clarity, so that we show the areas that we're talking about. There's also some more clarifications on where we're doing the actual, new alteration. This is the terminology is very important here. That we are doing some change of an existing altered area, and where we're doing the new restoration. And then the hatch area shows the extent of the area within the riverfront, within the work area, and the area that actually we are doing work on, which is the crosshatch. That is the extent of our presentation. There were, I think on the sidewalk, there was a question about, or there was a error on some, just a typo on the flagging numbers that our wetland scientists provided from Wendell Wetland Services, and we did provide a revised report from the wetland scientist to that now talks that does not have that typo on the numbering of the flags. Let's see, and provided that's basically our presentation. I just wanted also to add that the DEP had no real comments. The only comment was the one about verifying the newer maps for the FEMA flood lines, and we definitely did that and answered to that question.
No, that's good. Thank you very much. And I was going to note to the commissioners that we did receive the updated floodplain sheets here. They're here. And we did receive the
believe it's
updated
This one and this.
wetland boundary that changed B11 to B4.
Mhm.
And that's in the package here tonight. Okay. So most of it is, developed area. Not many changes at all. Going back to where you're going to put the separator in, and when we were out there looking at that that culvert, I stuck my head in it, and it's probably about 40% filled with sediment. So the request would be to clean, while you're doing that project, to clean that pipe out, to blow it out so that the flow is pushing down through there properly, and that you do have the capacity. And the second request, at the end of that pipe, it kind of just discharges on the bank to the Bloody Brook, maybe 10 or 12 feet up from the median high water level, but just goes into the muck. That's kind of a straight line. So to reduce that channeling, it'd be great to see even a riprap spreader leveler at the end there to slow down that channel flow. So to clean out the culvert, the pipe while you're there, and all of this it's pretty minimal to get done while you're opening up the whole thing. Blow it out and then put some riprap at the end, a leveler. So see if you guys are open to doing those two items.
And I think in the on the sidewalk that was asked about providing some numbers on the flow of the pipes, and we definitely
We did
provided that.
Yeah.
And the pipes definitely have almost double the capacity of what the flows are. So we show that. Cleaning out the area, we would prefer not have to go into expenditure of doing that. I think that, it's not part of the project itself. I mean, we're not really taking out any of
Right.
these drain lines.
This is predominantly a request while you're there, because
Mhm.
I've been in many culverts in the town over the last 5-10 years, and they all look the same. And while you're there, it's a whole lot less expensive to blow it out and then having to go back later after you put the separator in and so forth, and then put the leveler at the end. It's a load of riprap and to level it out and put a little lip on it just to spread the flow.
I
I
get-
mean, it's another truckload of a few yards of riprap.
Would you be open? And I'm gonna go to the level lip spreader question, because
Yeah.
the only drawback that I see of having the level lip spreader, and I mean drawback in the sense that it is a 15-foot wide, normally a minimum. So there's going to be
Mhm.
plenty of work that you have to do within the, close to the stream, which makes it, if there's no, and as far as I understood, I did not see a lot of erosion happening right at the edge right now.
There was no real flow coming through, but it just sits there. And it's a definite where it comes out of the pipe, just a straight channel that would pretty much rip right through all that. And so it's going to pick all that stuff up. So there is a balance between taking it out and doing it right, or leaving it there, let the storm push it through as needed. But that is if you lived in Deerfield, Bloody Brook is just about every committee that we're involved with has something to do. We're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yep.
on Bloody Brook studies and Bloody Brook improvements. The culvert just to the south on Pleasant Street is one of the high priority culverts to replace. So the more material that we can keep out of there it's better for the town, and it's better all the way down through. The cost would be, so it's a request to consider
My biggest,
while you're doing it.
my worry would be, and I think it would be even, it might be better to put some riprap at the end of the actual, not put together a full level lip spreader where you're gonna be moving a lot of material. To
Yeah, no, I'm
make
just
that.
thinking of,
But reinforcing it might be better and less impactful because the construction of the level spreader will do some impact and could create some erosion there if it's
It
not
could-
happening now.
yeah, in my mind, it's not over the top putting in a pre-constructed leveler, It's taking the riprap, putting it in there, fortifying it, making a little,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a dip, and then and then let it go out. So we push the water out a little bit, and we give it a place to settle in before the sediment goes out, before it goes up over. So it's really, if I use the wrong terms as a leveler, I'm kind of thinking in the field.
Yeah.
You know, how I would do it is just like, get the guys in with a little backhoe and some riprap and move it around.
That would be again, and I agree. I think what I was thinking of a level lip spreader
Yeah.
to the definition is because we need to put a curb basically that's 15 foot
Yeah.
long. But we're more than happy to do a reinforcement.
Yeah, more of a scour pad is what I would call that.
Okay, thank you.
And with
Oh,
and
oh,
with a
that's
little
fine.
bit of a basin there so that it can catch the sediment, the water plunges into that pool and then overflows it a little bit more gradually than
Right.
ripping through.
Thank you, Kristen. And as I couldn't remember the name of a track pad, I
Yeah.
couldn't either. So I appreciate all the help I can get.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do a whole big engineering thing. But while you're there,
that makes sense.
clean out the pipe and just try to slow down the flow with the scour pad.
And again on cleaning out the pipe is and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't. It seems like we would need to do a lot of work to be able to do that because the whole system, you know, we could do it from one point to another, but we have a big system that keeps going back there.
Yeah, I'm thinking from the separator down. I mean,
From the separator down.
You know, maybe you got 30, 40 feet to the brook of that 24-inch culvert. That was pretty full.
Okay.
And so, you know, I mean, I'm going to ask you some questions about the stormwater management operation and maintenance plan, and that comes back to, you know, the school, and they're going to have to send us reports. It would just make their life easier because we probably wouldn't have so much sediment building up. Because if in that separator it starts building up because it can't get pushed out into the pipe, then it's more maintenance.
No,
down the road.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I understand now. I thought it was
Yeah.
more all the way upstream.
No,
and then-
doing the whole, all the runs. That's the whole parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think one run of that, and you know, we'll have to make sure that they're careful about how they're going to capture that stuff at the end of the pipe. But that seems reasonable.
Yeah, would you blow it out or a vacuum truck or what would?
I mean, so typically you'd run a jet through there. I don't know if that's,
jet,
you know,
yeah.
with a pipe that big. I'm not sure, but I can imagine something where we got to put a bag at the end, and it may even have to be done in stages if there's that much sediment in it. But I mean, it seems doable, and they're going to have a big hole right there where they cut into the pipe, so there may be an opportunity to.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, now you're there. You already did all that expense. Why not take care of that? And yeah, I've seen them Chris on the end where, you know, there's just big sediment bags,
Mhm.
and you may have to go through a few of them, but depending on what's in there, but at least it's it just in my mind.
No, it makes sense.
Doing the maintenance while you're there versus having to come back and do it sometimes hours later, and it costs. Yeah.
And one thing that will be good is that obviously by adding this storm scepter, there's going to be a point that we will be able to clean the whole system because now we have a place where everything's going to be separated, and then the maintenance becomes much easier because you're just looking at just one spot. But yeah, no, again, my worry was to go
Yeah.
back from that.
Sorry
point.
about that.
It
That
becomes
wasn't
a-
clear, but we've done a lot of, I guess, scour pads and a lot of riprap fortifications on culvert.
yeah.
And it really does make a big difference
Oh, yeah.
holding stuff back and getting and keeping it from just having one straight channel rip right through. On the stormwater management system operation and management plan, there's some language in there of like during constructions, rainstorm events and so forth. The rainstorm events will be outlined in our order conditions.
Okay.
And we have the standard one. So what you have here is, I just want to make sure that you know that there will be modified to our order conditions.
Okay.
And then there's a post-construction inspection and maintenance schedule log.
Yes.
I believe that would be up to the school, inspected at regular intervals, at least 4 times during the first year, at least twice thereafter. Sediment should be removed when it's more than 6 inches deep.
Yeah.
And having worked in the environmental field for engineering firms for 42 years, and I've written a lot of O&M plans and followed up, and most of them sit on the shelf and collect a lot of dust. So it doesn't really happen. But part of the order conditions on this would to get an annual report. And I think you guys put in here a very nice log, required maintenance log, I think you called it. And that way we would want to see that log submitted to the commission
Okay.
on an annual basis.
Okay.
Just make sure that the maintenance does occur.
And you mentioned that you have already language on the intervals and how you normally are looking at that, or do
the
you
rain
want us to put
intervals?
together something?
The rainfall intervals?
Yes, and
Yeah, it's generally, I think at our standard, it's half an inch or more within any 24-hour period. And there might be a 3-day something in there too, but it's defined pretty well that way.
okay, perfect.
And you can go on the any of the apps and find out exactly where you're at to find out what the rainfall was for the next 24 hours.
Chris is
And-
my expert doing that.
Yeah. And that's consistent with what the NIPD's permit requires anyway. So we're going to be under that. So they're going to have to do weekly inspections and then after heavy rainfall.
Okay. So you're gonna it's not a NIPD's, but you're getting a Speedies permit?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. This is the construction activities. It is
Yeah.
NIPD's, the construction activities with the SWIP.
Yeah, so it's the NIPD's is a national. I think this would probably be a Speedies, which is a state for construction ones. So we'd want to see, anyways, we want to see that reports from the NIPD's inspections as well. And that would be during just the construction phase, Chris? Or the
Correct. That's just during construction activities.
The
Anytime you
temporary
disturb
permit.
more than an acre. And yeah, for whatever reason, Massachusetts is like the one that's administered through EPA. You'd think that they'd have their own, but we actually have to fill out EPA forms on that one.
Oh, I thought Mass had the primacy on that.
No, they could, but they're like one of 3 states that don't.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's right. Yeah,
Bizarre, but
I worked across the country in different ones on those, but I thought Mass had the Speedies. Maybe I'm thinking New York more. Okay, but that'd be great. Yeah,
Yeah.
just that kind of information.
Yeah, and so also the construction plans will have notes that the any project that we do that's more than 1 acre disturbance, that the contractor is responsible for your SWIP, for all that stuff. So once they sign a contract for doing the work, they have to do it.
Yeah, and part of our order conditions is that your contractors have to read it and send us a note that they understand it.
course.
They have to have us on site. We get to inspect it, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything else I had. You answered a lot of the questions I had. And it'd be great if we could, look at being able to say that you would, do the clean out of that last section of the culvert and put in a riprap scour pad at the end, just to have that on file.
Yeah, and we would need to, obviously, we would update the plan so that it would show that, and
Yeah.
then, we'll provide that.
So commissioners, any questions? John, anything from you? So I think the options are, we would continue this for another month, the hearing, to get the updated plans and to request, or we could do an approval or denial based on those requests received before any work proceeds. I think it might be clearer if if you're not under a big time frame, it might be cleaner to do it as a continuation and have all the forms in place by February. It's the end of February, and that would probably be a pretty quick.
When is the next hearing?
February
26th.
Next meeting is February 26th.
26th.
Okay.
2266 226.
26.
And
Um,
basically, right, so Bill, so you know, right after that, we would then be putting the project out to bid. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that close, or do you?
You know, preferably we want to put these projects out to bid in February, not after February. It's just because we get better pricing normally in February. But I mean, I leave it up to the board how you guys
Yeah,
want to do it.
I'm gonna be away like 10 days in February, so I won't be able to do a special meeting anyway. But if you, it'd be a interesting motion to put all the things together that we would need to approve it and then
I mean,
proceed. But
if
Sean, what do you think?
Well, the things to add would be Deerfield special order of conditions, cleaning out the last section of pipe and the riprap scour pad. Were there other things that needed to be added to make this a complete application? Was it
Yeah,
a
we
change
need,
from a no to a yes on?
Yeah, we need the NOI condition explained. We need to put in that maintenance reports will be due to the commission by December 31st of every year. We need to put in that we get maintenance or the ongoing logs from the NIPT's permit activities that are required. So there's probably 6 to 7 different things, Sean, that we talked about. Oh, and also track pads on entrances. We need to think about that a little bit more if you want to require it. So that's why I'm thinking it might be cleaner. But I don't want to hold you guys up on this stuff either if you're up against the clock.
Yeah, if you ask me, I would prefer to try to do it earlier because we can put the project out a bit earlier. But the reality is that if this will satisfy the board and we need to wait till the next one, we'll do it. I think the things that we would need to change really on the plans would be, showing, calling out the clean out of that last section of pipe, adding the riprap scour pad, and I mean, again, we prefer not have to do the track pads because it just adds cost to the project. But if that's something that you want to see, and we usually, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, we usually don't have track pads for repaving. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that typically not. I mean, we can put one in if the commission feels strongly about it, but or we can, potentially arrange the end point there. I mean, we've got a nice wide driveway, so if we can arrange the perimeter controls in a way that makes up for it. But
Maybe I'm just looking at my
it's
calendar.
physically possible.
It's up to the other commissioners, but I could meet again on the 12th of February. Does that give time for notices and things? Just a special meeting for just that NOI hearing. If we open up a hearing, that we may have to hear other things too.
I mean, we wouldn't be noticing this hearing because it's a continuation. So when you continue it, that is the notice. Then I think you only need 2 days to advertise the meeting itself.
Yeah, I think I just have to verify with my
It-
boss over here.
Looks like, so there's a MVP core group meeting at 4, but I don't see any reason why that they don't usually take 2 hours, do they?
I'm on that one
Okay.
too, so no, we'll be done by.
Okay, I just need to make sure then the other
I'll
one,
kick them out.
open space is in the conference room, and then it looks like the other one is on Zoom. So I'll just have to make sure you have a Zoom account, but I think, that can be
Yeah,
figured
looks like
out.
somebody can help with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say February 12th is,
Commissioners, Kate, Sean, any openings for that, or do you want to wait till the end of the month? I'm just throwing it out there as an option.
I'm happy to meet on the 12th if that's a happy medium where we can kind of meet in the middle there.
Appreciate that.
I could do that too.
No, well, really appreciate that because that gives us end of the month to just put together bid packages and start putting that out to bid
Yeah,
before,
okay.
before March. So yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, because after that, I don't get back until just before the next meeting anyway. So,
And I'm gonna give the heads up that I might not be the one on the meeting. That might probably will be either Chris, one of the two Chris's, either the Chris you met at the site visit or Chris Chamberlain, the senior engineer. my partner.
okay.
We've got you covered, Carlos.
Yes. Thank you.
So would it be helpful for us to send you out then the questions or things that we want to be
Appreciate-
addressed?
Yes. Yeah. yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Tim, is that something we could do next week?
You're asking for just a
Just
list
to
of,
send the BDG a summary of the requests that we would want them to respond to.
yep, I can get that together.
Okay. I'm pretty open next week too, so we can work together. So we can get you
Okay.
that information and then try to get it done. But I just think there's so many
Yeah.
little things to put a motion together with 7 other things. It might be just cleaner to get the paperwork done, have it there. And
I leave it up to the board to
Yeah.
to whatever's better for you guys. for
Okay.
sure.
Any other comments from the commissioners? If not, then I'm just going to continue the hearing.
okay, so you're continuing to February 12th at 6 p.m. in the main conference room. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I think you need to make a motion for that and have it voted on.
You're right. No.
I'll
Yeah.
make a motion to continue the notice of intent for 113 North Main Street, map 158, lot 17 and 18 for repaving the parking lots of Frontier Regional High School, DEP file 142-0256, to a specially scheduled meeting on February 12th, 2026, held at 6 p.m. in the main conference room of the town hall.
And just before you, on the second on that, Amy, do we have to, if we have a special meeting, do we have to open it up to any other any other items agenda?
No,
No.
no, you make the agenda. It's whatever you want it to be.
Do I have a second?
Yes. Kate Devlin, I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion on the table then to hold a special meeting on Thursday, February 12th at 6 p.m. To address NOI for 113 North Main Street. Roll call vote, Kate,
Kate Devlin, aye.
John Libby,
Sean Libby, aye.
Pete Law, aye. Okay,
Perfect.
so it's a continuation. We'll get that stuff, get it back to us, and it should be,
Perfect. No, I appreciate it.
we'll be in and out of here because I don't think there's anything else. I think everything is pretty well covered. And that just means I can spend the whole afternoon here for one meeting after another.
I again appreciate the trying to get this moving earlier so we can put the project out to bid and get better bids. So
Okay. Good.
and I think I'm going to be here now.
Yeah,
after
next
this one
agenda
for
item.
for the elementary school.
Just wanted to double check. Any questions, Bill, or concern? Anything further? Oh, board. Okay. So then we can move on to the next agenda item. Old business was the NOI at 21 Pleasant Street. Review of plan submitted 12/19 for approval as per the order of conditions. We did receive those plans. I think they're in the package here, right? And I do have a question for you while you're here.
Yeah. I'm here.
Um,
I'm trying to. I was just sharing the plan.
So what we're looking at was basically on the revisions was It's the observation well,
Yes.
and I think that is under details. Where was
Yep.
that? It showed a horizontal section of the well. It's a sheet. I thought it was five.
It's shown on the detail right on the yes, the left upper left corner.
Yeah, so it shows the 4-inch perforated PVC pipe, observation wells, etc. I don't see it on the other sheets of where it's actually going to be located
Okay.
from an aerial view within the I don't. It's not a detention area, but within that area, the basin. I don't see it on the sheet, and maybe it's there. I missed it, or you can point
No,
out. But
I did. We just showed the detail.
yeah, so I saw the horizontal view of it.
Yeah, the plan view. I
Um,
I agree. I don't think we.
I just don't know where it is, where it's going to be placed, so we could take a look at it.
Yeah, we unfortunately I did not show the location for it in here. That's the clean out detail. The clean out that we have at the corner there. Yeah, we did not. We just showed that there was going to be one observation well. I mean, I would say that I can show you where it makes sense to us. So it should be outside of the fall areas for the playground. There's gonna be these, so.
Yeah,
are-
'cause it's got a PVC cap on it. You don't want it in the middle of it.
You
but
got it.
Want it to probably be on.
And it will get covered with yeah, no, it,
Probably on the eastern side of the
yeah, I would
playground?
say
towards-
more than likely at the lower side, so we already have a clean out.
Yeah, not the clean out.
That we have for the right as the pipes go down, so if there's any clogging, we can clean it there. We could do it close to that area, to the north of that clean out, because that would be outside of all the again, all of the fall area, or the
Yeah.
other option we could do is all the way to the south.
Okay.
Just right at the, where on the, if you are looking at this plan, instead of here where we have the clean out, we could do it right at the opposite corner, right here. And that's also would be one of the lower points, so you would, in theory, be able to get a better reading, because you're gonna have more water at that corner.
So I think just looking at the topo here, the elevations, the lowest point is basically where the clean out is.
Yeah, so, and
So would you put it on,
I'm thinking of right, if you look at my cursor here, instead
Yeah.
of the cleanouts here, and we could
Yeah.
do it right at this corner,
okay,
that
Can
would
I-
be close to the
Can,
lower.
can I add something, Pete?
yeah,
Just from a BMP perspective, the handbook has it for an infiltration trench, it has it in the middle because that's the lowest point. Obviously, we don't want to do the middle of the playground here. I think the south being the lowest point, that's also ideal from a BMP perspective. So I think the location you guys are talking about would be fine.
but looking at the elevations, it's about
All those-
between 1 foot, a foot and a half, a foot or to a foot and a half lower at that area than where the structure will be. So,
Yeah,
think-
so that would be the ideal area.
so it looks like just that revision on L3.1.
Yeah, I can
And-
definitely send you that.
And if you can do that, we can look at that on the 12th as well.
Okay, let's
How's
do that.
You're close. I saw the horizontal. I'm like, where the hell is it?
I'm sorry,
Oh,
I
sure,
should have added it in here. So we'll definitely show it on that opposite corner, and yeah, that'll take no time, and actually probably give you those plans tomorrow.
Okay. Any other questions on the plans from the commissioners? Okay. Otherwise, I think that's just it. We were
Yep,
just
it's just
missing the,
dropping a point and putting a call out, so it should be
Yeah.
will be very simple for us to do.
good. So we can look at that on the 12th too.
Okay, awesome.
So can't accept the whole thing yet, but anything else on the order conditions? Any questions on anything?
No, we're good.
Okay, good.
Good. And like I said, I might not be here, but we'll make sure that you have, somebody can be here for presenting, and we'll have the plans ready as soon as possible. These plans I can do immediately, so I'll
Right.
just get those out of the way.
As long as you have someone here, otherwise we can't do anything, so.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I will be on, I could be on Zoom. It's just not, I'm not gonna be here. I'm helping my mom get out of surgery. So, and that's in Puerto Rico, which it's one of those things that I tell my partners and the people in the office, oh yeah, I'm taking care of my mom, but it's gonna be 80 degrees. So it's not a bad, it's not
Yeah.
a bad. But in any
Well,
case,
take care of your
I
mom.
could be definitely in Zoom
Okay.
for that night, but I'll have somebody else here live direct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just those two issues. Thanks.
Perfect.
All right. I think we're good then.
Okay.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Have a good night.
You too. Stay warm. All right. Next on the agenda for the commissioners. Other business. First one is the Sunny Day Stormwater and WRA reports and silt fence plan. That was submitted from DGT Associates. I think some of us, I have been out to the site a few times. I think the replication area is one of the best I've seen. And we just have to wait until the spring to get through the second growing season to sign off on that. The rest of the report seemed to be straightforward. I think there was a question here and I didn't find it, but I think there was a question on the erosion control. Yeah, so conformance with the final size of the WRA is pending the results of as-built survey. So I think it was a good report. It was required. They got it in on time. But I think all I would have to say is that, take a look at it. Any questions, let me know. But we'll schedule another site review out there in the spring just to see. This should be the second year, so it's either a 75 or 80% growth, which last year when I was there in summer was 99+%. So I think that'd be fine. The next item is the Eagle Brook Whipple Pond Management Report for 2025. This came in from SWCA. We get that on a yearly basis as they're doing the pond management there at Whipple Pond. And it basically is pretty much the same as it has been. They have a lot of growth in that little pond that they have to take care of. And I think they're doing pretty well there. Any questions on that one? Next item is the OSC Conservation Fund Agreement. This is the establishment of the Deerfield Conservation Fund. It needs to be established by a warrant article approved at the town meeting on May 11th, 2026. Town meeting has to establish the conservation fund under GL Chapter 40, Section 8C. Then any funds which are appropriated by town meeting go into the said fund, which may be spent by the commission without further appropriation. So please read through that. This is just for information, but it does have to go to the town vote in May. And there may be some additional questions from the Open Space Commission for us. Amy, do you know if there's anything outstanding with them for this?
Sorry, say again?
Do you know if there's anything outstanding that we have to do? I think the town administrators put the language together for the warrant.
Yeah.
And just read through it. I mean, it's this is it allows the Deerfield Conservation Fund, which is administered by the Conservation Commission, but it'd be working very closely with the open space group. So we've talked about this in the past. The next item was just on the 16th. There was a letter that has to go into the Director of Mass Trails, and it was for the Deerfield Conservation Commission to support the application for a Mass Trails grant. So this is for the Connecticut Riverview to Mount Sugarloaf Reservation Trails. So it's the loop, 1.7 mile walking loop down by the Connecticut River, and then extending up towards River Road across, I think it's Birchwood Reservation, up to Pecumtuck Road. And so I'm fine with that, and we can sign that off. And I think we need, if you all approve, I guess we could take a motion to approve the draft letter as written, and then I can sign off and get it sent off. So somebody want to make a motion to approve as?
Well, Sean Libby, I'll make a motion to approve the draft letter for supporting the Mass Trails grant application.
Kate Devlin, I'll second that motion.
Okay. Take quick roll calls. Kate Devlin,
Kate Devlin, aye.
Sean Libby,
Sean Libby, aye.
Pete Law, aye. So I think we said that. Amy, I can sign that off before you go, or maybe I already gave you something. So we're done there. The next item is a letter I put together for the select board. They had a hearing last evening, acting as a Board of Health. And this was for the school bus dwelling located across from 341 Lower Road. This was a request that came to me from the town's health and building inspectors as they were putting together relative information for the select board, Board of Health. So there was 2 requests, and all its materials in your packet. Back in early December, we were asked to do a internet kind of review of the location, the maps, and so forth. See what was there is relative to the Wetlands Protection Act. Tim put together a memo, sent it to me, and that's included in your package. At that point, following up on January 14th, there was an on-site visit, which I couldn't make, but Tim made it, and sorry about that, Tim. It was quite a day. But he was out there with the building inspector, the health inspector, wiring inspector, fire, a number of folks from town, and all that material is in here as well. As you look at that, there was a number of issues on the site, primarily for us. It is the dwelling, the school bus is located in the floodplain. They are taking water out of a nearby brook, pumping it out. It looks like maybe discharge of waste materials into the area. It's also storage of equipment on site, like generators and so forth, that have gasoline, nearby propane tanks, etc. So all this is in the floodplain. None of this was brought to our attention with a application to approve or deny, etc. I think, and I couldn't quite hear all the hearing last night, but I believe the select board has moved ahead to proceed with an eviction order. Is it, Amy?
I believe it's a condemnation.
A condemnation from
Yeah.
from a different reasons, and then it has to go to the next level, to the court systems and so forth. But I just wanted to personally thank Tim for all the effort he put into it and all the research he did, and having to go out there that day and take in a lot of this, the site. So I think we're probably done with that, but it did certainly help with the select board and the Board of Health and the other agencies in town to complete those hearings. Any questions? No, it's pretty straightforward there. Site visits completed in December. I had sent those to Kate yesterday, but there was 2 on the 9th, one at Magic Wings and one at the Frontier Regional High School for the pavement. We talked about both of those. And then I think it was either on that's the 9th. I think the 12th, Tim was at the site of the school bus dwelling. Those were the only 2 site visits completed. It says in December, but December to January. Yeah. All right. No, I don't see any public on, so there's no public in the audience, so no public comment. There was no mail that I saw in the package, so I don't think there's anything there. I don't think there's any items unanticipated 48 hours prior to posting. Upcoming meeting will be now as February 12th, 2026 at 6 p.m. as a special hearing for the Frontier parking lot. And then we will continue with the previously scheduled meeting of February 26th at 6 p.m. as well. So 2 meetings in February, and hopefully they're fairly quick and short ones. I think that's it. Anything else?
Oh, not that I can think of. I've set up the meeting for the 12th on the calendar, and I let Alex and Pat know that I've scheduled that. So they can figure out who's going to run that.
Okay. So Alex,
I make sure that it gets posted, the agenda gets posted, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Otherwise, we could take a motion to adjourn.
John Libby, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:29 p.m.
Kate Devlin, I'll second that.
All right. One more conversation. Quick roll call vote. Kate Devlin,
Kate Devlin, aye.
Sean Libby,
John Libby, aye.
Pete Law, aye. And we're done.
Okay, we'll stop the recording.
Stop the recording.